Okay, it is time to build a Duna-capable, at least an orbital vehicle. If not something that can land on Ike, maybe we can complete one of those two missions. And this is going to be based on a different pod, I think. We'll name it in a bit. So if I used this, I would need to do something like science stuff, propulsion. I would need to. This needs to be like a detaching staged thing. So utility. Like so. This could have RCS and stuff. So how about a little battery, propulsion, a little bit of RCS in there. Now, what's this thing's center of mass? Center of mass. So we could put RCS around there, which would be pretty good. Okay. Propulsion controls. That should give us pretty well full maneuverability. But that does not necessarily allow us to land and stuff. Okay, so I would need a little fuel tank, that guy. And put 2 RCS down there. Like so. Now for engines. I need engines of some kind somewhere. It's kind of an interesting place to put RCS, but that might be the only place available. So, okay. And if that's going to be the return pod, it should have a decoupler right there. All right, now propulsion, and this is for landing and landing and ascent stages. So, structural, 2 radial decouplers. Propulsion. Okay. Aerodynamic. Structural. And propulsion, a couple of little engines. Like that. How many kilonewtons is that? 30, 50. So we're having 60 kilonewtons of thrust in this little guy. ISP, more information please. 350, 390. What's its mass? 0.5 versus 0.1. I think the mass for those things is so negligible that I'd probably get more delta V by going like this. All right, structural, and we will, or is it utility, I should say. drop on some landing legs out here like this. Okay, so there's the center of mass. What happens if I do this? Oh, the center of mass is problematic. Of course, when we decouple these guys, the center of mass moves way up there. Okay. Control. Now, the best place to put these RCS is almost always... Does this thing have RCS in it? A little bit? Comes with 10 monopropellant. And this comes with 40. So you have 90 monopropellant. That's a lot, actually, from orbital maneuvering stuff. But it's best to put that stuff in the center of mass. Oops. This thing's going to be in the way, so I need to do this. Yeah. Okay. There's a little lander guy. And I'm going to actually do fuel lines backwards for this. This is going to be fuel lines going like that. What I should consider doing is, instead of doing this for RCS, do this for RCS. And we'll just have that attached to there. Yeah, we'll do that. And that gives me a fair amount of RCS, actually. It gives me 100 RCS plus 10 whatever in the pod. And our control, once again, we'll put thrusters about here. And the RCS is really for when we get back in from whatever it was we're doing. So science. A couple of those things right there. More science. Grab this right here. Put one of these up here, like so. One of these right here. Takes care of that. Yeah. Tiger 7. And a Mark 16 parachute. I will just slip in a couple batteries just in here, like so. That's perfectly fine. Make sure they're up out of the way of the RCS as best I can. Or even better here, just stick one battery right there. That should be plenty of battery. Okay. That should be sufficient for a lander to land on and take off of Ike, I would imagine. I don't need any more CS or anything. All right. So, yeah, we have almost 1,000,000 funds. Okay, let's get my staging working. Yeah, all right. We'll save that for what we have so far. Now we need to make a, the interplanetary portion of this. So that's why I have a docking port here, because this thing is going to come back and dock with the interplanetary ship. Which is going to feature one of these. Propulsion. I might actually put this thing up in orbit in 2 stages, but we'll see. And our brand new nuclear rocket. All right, now another set. Oh, those are awfully big. Of radio decouplers. And this just packs on, this just brings us extra fuel. Okay. These guys will feed into the middle. And then we'll go around this way to feed one into the other. You feed to there. You feed to there. Yes. That looks pretty good. The other thing I'm going to want on here, okay. This thing needs to come up. Utility, we'll stick a little solar panel right back here, like so. But this thing needs some bigger, better solar panels. So I need, I need a pair of these. Just to keep this part all powered up and everything. This whole ship is going to be awfully heavy, so we will throw in a reaction control wheel. Okay, now we need a lifter for this. Structural. Big engine cowling on that. And lifter, 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 lifter. We have some truly large rockets now. Max engine thrust 3,200, 2,500. Main sails 15. All right. Okay. Let's see. Now, this thing isn't actually all that large. I might be able to get away with something. Do I not have the skipper? Oh, I don't have the skipper. I do have the LFB though. Uh, 360, 340. We'll put a mainsail on there. And so this whole ship is basically going to be doing all of everything from orbit to interplanetary travel all by itself. All we need to do is get it into orbit. Yeah, all right. How about we do asparagus main sailing? How about we try these guys? Propulsion. Aerodynamic, put caps on. And more of you guys. Like so. Now I need, what do I need? I need, rocket motors. That's what I need. The T-45. Yeah. And space tape. Just enough on the bottom to keep things nice and stable, like so. And fuel lines going from here to there. This is actually going to be a somewhat complicated setup because I'm going to have a lot of stages. See what I've got so far. Grab the whole rocket and bring it down to ground level. What a beast. All right, let's Make some modifications here to get these things asparagus. Going around the horn. Yes. All right. Now, to make sure I get all my decoupling correctly from the bottom. We have all this stuff going on. Kaboom. We have then... I want these ones, which is this pair here. And then these ones, which is that pair there. And then those decouplers, oops. Those decouplers, which is this pair. And finally, these decouplers. And then we are ready for this whole noise with the atomic engine, atomic rocket. And then we have a whole new set of asparagi. Is that the correct plural term for asparagus? So we have these two there. And then these two. And those fall off. And that's manual. All right. Okay, I think that is actually going to do it for this rocket. Will conclude the Let's Build portion. Oh, nope, not quite. Almost conclude the Let's Build portion. Getting a smidge ahead of myself. I want to do... this. I'd really like to have a tower that reaches up here. If I can make it happen. That should work well enough. Just need to get ourselves clear of the tower. And she's good to go. Okay, and action groups. One more thing in action groups, of course. Number key 0, the standard operating procedure for number key 0, which is a crew report and pressure data and seismic data. So I can grab all that science all at once. And that will take care of the Let's Build portion of this. Almost. I keep forgetting something. Of course, all of this stuff needs to go here. Basically, so I can move it into the correct stage, like so. Okay. Excuse me. I'll get some water here. All right. Let me give you a rundown of this rocket and its staging. First, we have all of these little engines plus the mainsail fire off. Hopefully giving this thing plenty of thrust as these things all decouple to lift up this massive rocket. And then we begin discarding tanks over asparagus staging. Once this center fuel tank is expired, we will decouple it and activate a nuclear engine, which has ridiculous ISP. And that gets us up into our interplanetary stage here. Our interplanetary stage is a central fuel tank with a set of decoupling fuel tanks that go around the end here. Each time you decouple a fuel tank, your ISP improves significantly. So that'll be really handy. And then we have, so this craft, part of the craft, will actually be left in orbit while we take this ship down to do our stuff. And this ship should be able to be capable of landing on some place like Ike, which is where we're headed. We're headed to Duna and Ike, hopefully, with this whole ship. And then, of course, we grab all of our scientific experiments, move the data into the pod, and return home with the pod. So we will save that and launch to see how we do. I do see one quick problem I want to solve, which is these instruments ended up being on symmetry when they shouldn't have been. Double check my action groups to make sure they're still assigned. Yep. Is that battery was on symmetry? No. Okay, that should do it. And we have a little bit of RCS to come back up and dock with the with our main ship here. Once we return from our landing destination, and then we can continue on flying other places and all that good stuff. So, without any more ado, we'll get on to the launching portion. And I think we're ready to launch. Yep. Our ship is up and away. Looks nice and stable. All of our fuel consumption is as expected. This is an awfully tall rocket, so there's a lot of force being applied up here. I want to be a little bit careful. Perfect separation. Okay, throttle up. Here we go. We are on our way to Ike. That mainsail is going to overheat unless I back off the throttle a little bit. It's surrounded by a whole bunch of little rocket motors. We're climbing up nicely. Each of these little booster stages falling away and doing their job.